What if I told you that the AirPods Pro 3 might just be the greatest earbuds of all time? Sounds dramatic, right? But stay with me, because the more we peel back the layers of what Apple has done here, the more you'll start to wonder if these tiny little buds are secretly carrying the DNA of a GOAT device. And the fun part? You won't need to climb through a boring list of specs to get there. We're going to tell this story like a journey. Picture this: you slip the AirPods Pro 3 out of their sleek little case. The lid snaps shut with that satisfying click, and already, you're reminded why people love Apple's design language. But here's where the story takes its first twist: these aren't just earbuds anymore. They're tools of focus, relaxation, and even survival in noisy, chaotic environments. Apple didn't just improve sound. They improved silence. And that's where this GOAT conversation starts. Now let's drop our first mini hook. Imagine sitting on a crowded subway, kids screaming, brakes screeching, announcements blasting. You put in the AirPods Pro 3, and suddenly, silence. Not just muffled noise. Not just reduced chaos. Silence so rich that your brain gets tricked into thinking the world outside doesn't exist. That's how powerful the new noise cancellation is. And here's the kicker: it's adaptive. It learns your environment and adjusts in real time. That's not just convenience, that's wizardry. But hold on, because there's more. Apple didn't just make silence better. They made sound smarter. The new drivers deliver bass that feels fuller, mids that sound clearer, and highs that sparkle without piercing your ears. If you're a music lover, you'll notice it instantly. And if you're not, you'll still feel it. Even a simple podcast suddenly sounds richer, warmer, more human. And that's the magic: you don't need to be an audiophile to appreciate the leap. Here's another mini hook. Have you ever had a pair of earbuds that constantly slipped out when you were running, working out, or even just walking too fast? That frustration is gone. Apple redesigned the fit with improved ear tips and micro adjustments that adapt to your ear canal. It feels like the AirPods Pro 3 were molded just for you. Comfortable enough to wear for hours, secure enough that you forget they're even there. And let's talk about battery life. Everyone expected Apple to give us a small bump. But the reality? AirPods Pro 3 push endurance further, letting you go for longer commutes, longer workouts, and even long flights without constantly looking for a charger. And when you do need a top-up, the case is faster, smarter, and MagSafe ready. It's like Apple asked themselves, how do we eliminate every possible annoyance people have with earbuds? And they did it. Now here comes the suspense. The AirPods Pro 3 aren't just about sound and silence. They're about awareness. Apple has nailed transparency mode so well that when you turn it on, it feels like you're not wearing earbuds at all. Conversations sound natural, ambient noise feels authentic, and yet, at the flip of a switch, you can step back into your private sound universe. Think about how surreal that is. A device that can separate you from the world, or blend you back in, with just one gesture. That's not just earbuds. That's science fiction in your pocket. So far, so good. But here's the real cliffhanger for part 2. Because hidden in the AirPods Pro 3 are features you might not even know exist yet, features that blur the line between earbuds and health devices, between music and lifestyle. And once you hear them, you'll understand why calling these the GOAT might not be an exaggeration at all. Let's pick up where we left off. The AirPods Pro 3 don't just entertain you, they protect you. Apple has quietly been turning these earbuds into health companions. Did you know they can now measure subtle hearing changes, track environmental noise exposure, and even help prevent long-term damage to your ears? That's not just tech. That's healthcare woven into sound. Here comes the next mini hook. Imagine going for a run. You're pushing yourself hard, sweat dripping, breathing heavy. The AirPods Pro 3 aren't just giving you your playlist, they're monitoring your environment, warning you if cars are approaching, and adapting volume so you stay aware. In a way, they're like a guardian that never leaves your side. Now let's talk about conversations. Apple has integrated new AI-driven voice isolation tech. Which means when you take a call in a noisy cafe, the person on the other side hears you like you're in a quiet room. No background clutter, no frustration. Just clean, human voice. And in an age where half our conversations happen over calls or video meetings, that's priceless. And here's where it gets interesting. Spatial audio. Apple didn't just polish it, they perfected it. Movies feel cinematic. Games feel immersive. Music feels like you're standing inside the studio with the artist. It's the kind of experience that once you taste it, you can't go back. And when paired with Apple Vision Pro or even just an iPad, it feels like the future of entertainment is already in your ears. But wait, we're not done. Let's throw another mini hook. Battery life? Impressive. Case design? Sleek. But the real shocker is how smart the case has become. Find My integration is tighter than ever, meaning losing your AirPods Pro 3 is nearly impossible. The case even has its own speaker for alerts, making it easier to track down. Little touches like this turn annoyances into afterthoughts. And now for the big emotional punch. Why do these feel like the GOAT? Because they don't just solve problems. They anticipate them. They're not flashy. They're not trying to prove they're better than every other earbud. They just work, seamlessly, silently, and intelligently. And in doing so, they earn a level of trust that few devices ever achieve. Think about it. A decade ago, earbuds were just pieces of plastic that played music. Now, they're health guardians, focus machines, cinematic tools, and companions that adapt to your life in real time. That's why the AirPods Pro 3 feel like something more than just earbuds. They feel like the GOAT. So as we wrap this up, here's the question. Are AirPods Pro 3 worth the hype? For some, they'll just be another pair of earbuds. But for others, for those who care about silence, sound, comfort, health, and the future, they're not just worth it. They're unforgettable. And once you experience them, it's hard to imagine going back. That's why, at least for now, the crown sits firmly on their tiny little white stems. AirPods Pro 3. The GOAT.